Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta. Oh, I almost said It's About the Podcast, but this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast.
That's a whole different podcast.
Season 10, episode 2. It's still prime. I'm not
I'm
complaining about Vanderpump Rules yet.
no, I'm loving this.
Still a prime
You
show.
know what? I'm deciding those last two seasons we got, they didn't exist, and I'm gonna pretend like we went off air for 2 years.
Okay, I was thinking about this. When did Jackson and Brittany get married? Was that season 7?
That was season 7, no, season 8, and that was the COVID season. COVID tanked this stuff, but we're back, baby.
I feel like I hated season 7 though too. Because haven't we not had Jackson and
Season
Brittany
7
for
was their
two
engagement.
seasons?
Season 7 was their
Oh,
engagement, and then season 8 was their wedding. And season 9 was the first year without a lot of people.
oh, well, what do I know? Just kidding. Okay, great. Love that. I don't know what I'm going for. Great. Let's hop into the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Check us out on the NN Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer's Fun, a Summer House podcast, which is happening too. So just do it all. Just stalk us at this point.
Just join the freaking bandwagon. I feel like we're a cult at this point.
Join our fucking cult already.
Bravo is a cult. It just isn't dangerous.
What would it take for you to join our cult? Let us know, and
An
we'll make it
interesting
happen.
storyline. Do it for the plot.
Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I post the tweets, and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. This is where our cult hangs out. For $1 a month, you get access to our fun pre-shows. Great that we today.
Yeah. I mean, at this rate, like our updates on live are like very personal because we talk twice a week.
Yeah,
like
we have to dig deep. It's like therapy. We had to cancel our therapies for this. Just kidding.
I don't have to pay a therapist anymore. I've got this.
We have this. And also you get access to any episodes we record early. This one, for example, you'll get it maybe before it releases. I don't know. You know what? Our lives are crazy. Just join the Patreon. You'll get it at least a few hours before it's released.
No, I promise you, at the rate we're going, you're getting it actually really early for a live season.
There you go. Fucking amazing. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus you get access to our after shows that we do when we go back and we watch old seasons, which we're not doing right now because we could talk about Bravo news here on the podcast. I don't care. I'll spoil it. I'll spoil real life. And then also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dustin, Jackie, Jamie, Casey, Kimberly, Chrissy, Sarah, Cameron, Tiffany, Tonette, Tracy, Courtney, Gina, Jennifer, Kirsten, Kelsey, and Mariah.
Crushed it,
that
Alicia.
Was good.
Crushed
that was good, wasn't it? Okay, and then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, for live shows, which is now, you get to give us your thoughts, opinions, questions, concerns. I don't know, whatever you want. I'll post in the Patreon once a week. You give us all your things. We'll read them on the podcast. We have some to do before, one to do after. It'll be lit.
Yay!
And then also we'll pick a patron of the episode. I don't know if I did this for our Summer House episode.
You know what? I don't think you did.
Great. So I'm gonna pick who I was gonna pick for Summer House.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Casey.
Woohoo!
Because listen, Casey's always in the DMs on Instagram. Casey's leaving us thoughts for Vanderpump and for Summer House simultaneously. And listen, it's hard to do because we could barely keep up. Casey's keeping up. It's amazing. I don't know how she does it. So Casey is our star. Casey, you're supposed to be star for Summer House too. Both, you know what? You get both.
Our cult member of the week.
That's how we're changing it to. It's called cult member of the week.
The Kool-Aid member of the week.
It is literally called Who Drank the Kool-Aid this week. Who drank our Kool-Aid? It's Casey. Casey, how's it taste? That's actually what I'm gonna do. If I remember, it's gonna be Who Drank the Kool-Aid this week. It's Casey. Casey drank it twice this week because she was in for Summer House and she's in for Vanderpump. So
we love.
She's fully in our cult. She can't leave. Sorry.
She's actually like a managing member now.
If this was Scientology, she'd be on level 5 already.
I don't understand how that works. I don't know what that means. Whatever the highest level of Scientology is, that's where we're at.
It's Casey. It's Casey. Okay, great. I'm just really excited to get to these thoughts. So let's do our
excited.
before show thoughts.
Yeah.
So Casey, our Kool-Aid girl, or she goes first. This has to do with last episode, but she said, wow, the beginning tearing at our heartstrings with Tom and Katie. So many secrets spilled, like Lala and James back in the day. I love it. If you didn't think this, you were wrong. I thought it the whole time.
I want more of this. Like, give me more insights on what was happening back in the day.
I feel cheated. I feel cheated that we didn't see it.
That we didn't get this back then. Because like we had footage of them landing in Chicago. It was obviously like a phone footage, but still.
I feel cheated we didn't see them hook up on camera. Like I'm sad about it.
Me too.
Anyway, wait, back in their wild days, they would totally release a sex tape. And that's a sex tape I would pay for.
They would.
If you listen to Summer House, there are some Bravo celebrities. I'm not going to pay for your sex tape, but this one,
I would pay for this.
I would pay for this. Money. Okay. What else are we doing? Okay, Casey, sorry. She also says, I like seeing the old Lala, except sober, meaning just her fun, no filter self. I have never found James attractive, but he is looking good. Honestly, I think this is like one of his worst looking seasons. Am I weird?
I think he's like matured out. Like he doesn't look like the little kid anymore. Ugh. So I think mature James is like looking good. I agree with Lala. Like she is still her unhinged self, but she just doesn't cross the line where you like feel like you can't defend her.
Agreed. Casey says, not sure about this new girlfriend though. Definitely just a Raquel replacement / fill the void type thing. Agreed.
I actually hate it.
Raquel and Peter, weird. Agreed.
Can't wait to talk about that.
So Sandoval started his band in the middle of opening their restaurant. Doesn't sound responsible, and I'd be irritated too. Schwartz still his dopey self. When does the kiss happen? What about the sandwich shop? I can't wait to hear all y'all's thoughts.
That's gonna come like second half of the season. I'm gonna look up when Sheena.
The kiss is Sheena and Brock's wedding.
Yes, which I'll look up that date here in a second. But here we go. I've got it immediately. August 26th, and they started filming in July. So it's gonna be second half, I think.
We got a while, girl. But yeah, the sandwich shop, I'm excited for them to open in 2 months.
That's like the finale episode is their tasting party.
Oh, amazing.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Chrissy also left us a comment on last week. Chrissy says, I am so pumped to finally listen to this episode, as in our episode. She drank the Kool-Aid too. This is why
not going to be the best joke ever.
This is great. I don't care. Everyone leave us bad reviews if you hate it, whatever. So this is one Bravo show my husband enjoys to watch with me, which means I have to wait until Saturday to watch it. Watch it behind his back.
I was going to say, I don't know if I could ever be one of those couples that like waits for someone. You either got to be on my timeline or get off the train. I'll watch with you.
Listen, I hope your husband doesn't listen to this because we are toxic and I'm telling you to be toxic. Watch it and then
leave his ass behind. Rewatch with him, but leave his ass behind.
Yes, 100%. We love the way Katie looks. James is the new Jax, total douche, but we enjoy him on the show. Listen, James was bred in a lab for reality TV. Convince me otherwise. He's perfect.
Incredible.
Sandoval's mustache is its own character. Ew.
I hate.
Ew. I don't like Schwartz anymore. Sheena's one-liners are the best. Quote, if he did own a pickleball, they'd probably be suing him too right now.
So good.
Unquote. And sweet baby angel Raquel needs to stay away from James and maybe dating anyone in the group. Agreed. Just be single, girl. It doesn't look like you're ready to date.
I need her to be her single. It feels like she's trying to be somebody else's version of single.
Awful. Okay. Peter made me think of the creepy friend of your older brother who is always willing to buy you a beer. Wait, sorry, I might be projecting. No, he is.
That read is so true.
My poor pirate. He's rough.
I am rocked. Oh my God. He's like the guy who won't graduate, like who hangs out with the seniors.
He's a townie. Also, Tom Sandoval's band played in the south suburbs of Chicago for New Year's Eve at Bourbon Street.
Whoa.
The coolest place for 20 somethings to go and get wild and crazy and hear parts. Enjoy the rambling. Chrissy, if you could like DM us and let us know exactly which bar was it at. Is Bourbon Street a bar? No, that's a street. What suburbs? Know. What south suburb?
Yeah,
I'm from Illinois. Meredith has lived in Chicago and is moving back and lives in the suburbs for a little bit.
I was in Northwest though. So
I was Northwest, but I've explored the whole state. Let me know. Where was he? I gotta go smell it. I'm just kidding. I would never. Okay, I think that's it for before. We obviously have one for after. No one let me forget. Okay, great. Let's hop into this episode.
Let's do it.
So previously on Vanderpump Rules, Schwartz and Sandy's is hosting the Daily Mail party, but they're still making changes and it's in like 72 hours. That's an exaggeration, but you know. Katie divorced Tom Schwartz. Lala is also pissed at Schwartz because he still communicates with Randall and Schwartz is not Team Lala. He's no team, but he should be Team Lala.
Ridiculous. He has said so much against her and very little against Randall that like, to be honest, he's Team Randall, which is just effed up.
Raquel and James broke up and now James has a new girlfriend, Allie, and Raquel has to move on. Great. Let's see where this episode takes us. So we started Schwartz and Sandy's. Both the Toms are here. We have Brett, the general manager. Schwartz has on this bucket hat. And then we cut to Greg. Do we remember Greg, the business partner?
Oh,
he hates the Toms. He hates
the only realistic one in this like investment group.
Oh my God. He hates him so much. I'm surprised he's here still. He should have took his money and run.
If he wasn't here, this whole place would collapse.
Exactly.
He's the only adult in this situation.
Exactly. So they have 2 days to get shit done. There's no chef. They don't have, they're interviewing like hostess and waiter, the wait staff and the bartenders.
I mean, this makes sense. This Daily Mail party, they did the same thing with Tom Tom where they like did a party before it actually opened, but they're interviewing people for short term, honestly, is their like main goal to have people to work this party. And then they're like, oh, hope they work out long term. And I'm like, the way you're running this business is just insane to me.
Psycho. So they do the interviews. Sandoval's looking for experience. Schwartz is looking for personality. And Greg is looking for none of these weirdos.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. But yeah, Schwartz loved everyone. You can imagine Greg didn't.
Schwartz said he's hiring for their personality. Whereas like we need people to actually do the job, Schwartz. I know you're not used to being behind the bar, but somebody has to be behind the bar.
Greg is going to have an aneurysm.
I feel he's draining money by the second.
I can tell you one person that didn't drink the Bravo Kool-Aid. It's Greg.
No.
He fucking hates these people. Fucking hates all of them.
And then that decorator girl from last episode.
Lucinda. Yeah. Lucinda hates them. Okay, so now let's go to Peter and Raquel's date. When I tell you, this was a roller coaster of emotions.
Yes, and we got this way quicker than I thought we would. I did not think we were getting this episode.
I know, but in hindsight, she had to break up with him kind of. Or even though he wasn't upset, that upset her. Crazy. We'll get there. Anyway, so Peter again mentions how he's casual because Raquel wanted to dress casual.
He's so stressed about his outfit. He's like, I'm kind of hot, but you told me to dress casual. And I'm like,
Did you catch too his shirt? He just bought his shirt.
Yes.
Like a new shirt.
When she says like, oh, I don't want to get makeup on your shirt. And he goes, no worries. I mean, I did just buy it.
I just bought it.
Oh,
so
God.
Raquel, she knows she's holding on to her old relationship with James. So instead of like self-help and self-care, she's just gonna go out with Peter, the pirate that's 80 years old. She's instead of being like, you know what, let me do my own self-healing journey, I'm gonna do the classic of to get over someone, you got to get under someone. Raquel, this could work, but you can't get under someone you know and like care about as a person because you need a rando. You can't feel bad when you're like, I fucking hate you, and you cry at lunch.
Let alone someone you know, but your manager at work.
Yeah, you shouldn't be crying over tuna tartare on camera.
No.
It's
and
just
like
not it.
Peter's like should be an adult. He orders a whole bottle of rosé and appetizers, and I'm like, God, this would never happen on. Actually,
Why? Good for him. He can pay.
No. I'm saying this like is not realistic. Like in Raquel's version of life, she's like 24 years old.
I would be impressed at 24 if someone got a whole bottle of
I
rosé and tuna
know. I'm saying this
tartare.
is
I
like
can't
out
afford
of
tuna tartare.
her like age grouping right now. Like people don't do this.
No, this is great. Good for Peter, really
No,
stepping
he's
up. It's
doing
not.
well. I'm just saying this
Oh,
is
you're
not a
saying
standard for
Raquel's
like
maturity is
Raquel.
no, she should be going to get drunk
Yeah,
and
you're like,
making
let's
out with
meet for
not
drinks.
Peter. I guess
And
she
like,
did make out with someone.
yeah.
Whatever. Let's just talk about this stupid date. So Raquel's hoping like your taste buds change every 5 years. So hopefully your taste in men do too. Hate to tell you, girl, it doesn't. You always date douchebags. At
It
least I do.
doesn't, and it's not going to change this drastically. First off, like
To
it'll
Peter,
mature,
yeah.
like the things you want, the qualities you want, but like you're not going to go from a James to a Peter.
No, never. No, there's no way. Okay, so Raquel's not that hungry because she's been on an all carb diet after her pageant. And Peter's really nice. He's like, "How did that go?"
Yes.
And she's like, "It was okay." She's really unhappy because she placed in the top 15. And this was her last pageant because she's too old now because dumbass Donald Trump, God, we should bleep out his name. He decided you hit your peak at 25. So fuck that guy. Immediately.
am dead.
I want to fight him. 25?
I had no idea this was a thing.
I know he is creepily in the pageant business.
No, I knew he owned Miss America, but I didn't know that you couldn't compete in pageants past 25.
Fuck this dude. I just want to say Katie is probably hotter now than she was at 25. So like I want to see her in a bathing suit. Lala, hot and definitely not 27 or whatever the age is.
Yeah, I think she's like 31. This just shook me. I look at this like similar to like gymnastics. Where like, yeah, you might have your prime, but there's still that like Romanian woman who's like 40 years old competing.
There's no rule that's like don't come.
Yeah, there's no rule, there's no max age. I feel like there shouldn't be a max age. Now, if you don't make it because like, yeah, the young spry girls are probably gonna place higher than you. But there could be that 30-year-old who's incredible. She's not even allowed to try because men put our peak at 25. I've already gone downhill, everyone. I've passed 25. I told you I'm at my pandemic age. I'm perpetually 24. But yeah, okay. Raquel went into a deep depression, and Peter's like, "Are you still in this deep depression?" Because he's trying to leave now. No, I'm just kidding. But this is like, it is awkward to be like, I'm in a depression on a first date. And but like, she tries to laugh it off, and I feel her because she knows this isn't something you're supposed to say. But she's like crying. She starts sobbing, and it's not funny. My heart is sad for Raquel, but also the roller coaster of this date made me fucking die laughing. The fact that she's like, "Thank you so much for ordering rosé. I'm in a deep depression." So I felt this where you like the conversation goes somewhere you're not expecting, and now you're crying, and you're like, "I'm so sorry." This is so bad. But okay, Raquel said she's trying to figure out her life and being single, and Peter's really nice, and he gets up and hugs her, and she's like crying in his arms. Surprisingly, this was so realistic. Like I felt this. This made me so happy. Yes, this is not where I expected it to go. Yes. The date still weirds me out from an overall high level perspective, but this made my heart happy. I'm like, Peter is a good guy. Peter's a good guy. Raquel, I think it's very normal. Obviously, her and James broke up. They were engaged, for God's sake. So you like 6 months ago too. He's moved on, and you like, let's keep in mind, I think Raquel started dating James at like 21. So she hasn't like been an adult without James yet. And she said he financially like supported everything. That's really hard. It's like leaving your parents and being like, so now what? So I get her stress and her anxiety and her depression. Yeah. And she's like, losing the comfort of pageants that she's done her whole life. Like something she has excelled in, like that probably was such a confidence boost in her life and like helped her work through like public speaking things. So now she has to figure all this out on a public stage because she's on a show. Yeah. And I can imagine the pressures of trying to live up to like a lifestyle you're supposed to have on this show while not having the financial backing to do it even. Yeah, this is crazy. So I get it. But Raquel, this was a very bad date. Peter, this was a very bad date. I would never go on a date with this person, even if I liked them again after crying in front of them. No, the minute Raquel started crying, I was like, what
I just imagined myself. Listen, I'm not going to cry on a first date. I can tell you that right now. I'm not emotionally like evolved enough. But if I'm across from someone and they start crying, I'm going to be like, what do you need from me?
I
I don't really know.
I could imagine myself. I can't say never because I could just totally see it happening.
I'm going to go with no. But
I feel like you
imagine
get
if
enough
someone
drinks
did
in
that to
me
you.
and you talk about the right topic, I could start bawling.
Imagine if right now I just started crying on the podcast. You'd be like, what
I'd
the
be
fuck?
like, do you want to do this another time?
Are you okay?
Let's cut. And how about we both log off so I don't have to deal with this?
It was wild, wild date. So let's go to Sugar and Bronze. We have Katie and Lala. They're gonna get tanned. Lala had so much fun at James's DJ thing, and now she's been texting that hot boy Ty.
I am happy for her. I
And
want
he
this
wants
all on camera.
same. He wants to hang out on Friday, and Lala's like, Katie, you should come. And Katie's like, why the fuck would I do that? And Lala's like, no, in a group thing. I don't like single date anymore. And Katie's like, okay, thank God we're not third wheel.
I need to make group dates happen.
I love a group date.
Yeah, but it's hard to like make happen off of like
hard.
a Hinge app, you know?
No, it's horrible. Yeah, it has to be really like Lala and Ty met organically. They're texting
And they're like, let's get our
Friday.
friends out together.
And she's like, no. She'll be like, oh my God, what about like, do you have a friend for my friend Katie? That'd be dope. And Ty's like, I meant us, but okay.
I need friends to do that to me. I want to be the Katie.
Same. Okay, so then we get naked so we could tan. I miss a naked tanning sesh. This is iconic. And Katie does have a perfect fucking ass.
She does. She's got a great body.
Her body's amazing. Her ass is the most perfect thing I've ever seen. I'm upset.
Think back to that season that James called her fat, and I'm like, wow, what a different era we were in at the time, because like now we've come so like far with like normalizing bodies that are normal. And I'm like also, Katie's a normal body, and she was shamed so hard for it.
Also, I just want to say, I'm not trying to shade us, but if James called Katie fat, I never want him to describe me. Yeah. I never want him to like put me in words, because we have normal bodies. Yes. But I'm also like short and like sturdy, as my dad puts it, which is lovely. So I hate when men describe me sometimes. And James would be like, you're like round. And I'd be like, I'm not, but thank you.
I'm the blueberry person from Willy Wonka.
See, he would rip us apart.
The more you see like normal body types out in the wild, like on your social media feeds and everything, it just normalizes everything. And I'm just so happy that like when we look at Katie's body in this scene, it's like, this is normal.
Thank God. And she's hot. I don't know who doesn't think she's hot.
Lala is like hyping her up in like exactly how it should be. It's not even just like trying to overhype her.
And okay, we can all agree Lala is, the skinny, beautiful, hot girl, right?
Quote,
she's
unquote,
always been
what is beautiful.
Yeah,
like always what was told was beautiful.
She's always been the social norm, right? And she's sitting there going like, Katie, you have a perfect ass. I wish I had that. To be like, you might be insecure, but girl, I'm insecure too. You shouldn't be.
Yes.
Like, holy shit, I want what you have. And that's always nice. I know we shouldn't put ourselves down like that, but it's always nice to be like, you like what I have? Thank you.
Yes. Like everybody has, nobody is like no woman is like thrilled with their body.
No.
Like everybody wants something. The grass is always greener.
But there's always a caveat to that. Don't say you have a small waist. That's a bad don't comment on the middle section.
Oh, yeah.
You could say abs. You have abs.
Yeah.
It
doesn't matter about size.
Men don't do it. Only women should do it. Women know how to do it. We're fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Just say you look good in that outfit. That's all you need.
That's all you need. Okay. So Katie is still a little resentful of Schwartz and Sandy's. She feels like she's dealing with it well, but also still Schwartz will like stay late and she'll have to take the dogs when he was supposed to pick them up, and then he's going to pick them up even later.
What a nightmare.
She's still feeling this bar.
That I can't imagine. It would just keep festering.
I know. And they're still trying to manage their relationship. And then Lala said, I talked to Schwartz and I'm not practicing forgiveness, which is understandable because she tells us like, when everything happened with Randall, she was even struggling with her sobriety. So she like had to re-go through all the steps. And she just wants to feel safe again and she's just trying not to drink. And I think the only thing that's helping her with that is Ocean. So then when she found out everything with Randall, she's in fight mode and she just wants to exist, be sober, and be there for her kid. She has no energy for anything else. And forgiveness takes energy. So she's not there.
This is really interesting to hear from her. It's like very raw and real.
Yeah.
But we never saw her go through like the I'm an alcoholics like stage, I'll say.
Yes.
Like she did all that, I think, off camera. Now, like she did that one season, I think it was the last one with like a lot of the like OG cast members where they went to that winery and she was like, oh, I'm sober. But she never actually talked about like being an alcoholic on the show. So this is interesting. And from my perspective, like from a viewer, it always looked like she just got sober to be healthier, like to not
I think because she was she became someone she didn't like when she was drinking.
Yeah.
I don't think she necessarily like needed it or like even like James, where it was like, I'm not good enough without this. I think she just became someone she didn't like
self-destructive like James. And so it's interesting to hear about her struggle to be sober, because I've never really thought about how it could still be a struggle, because it always felt like she chose it, you know, like she just wanted to not. And it's kind of becoming like a cooler thing these days to be like sober, whatever. So it's interesting to hear her struggle, because I've never thought about her struggling through her life and that as an added factor.
That she actually does, like, alcohol is
a struggle for her.
Yeah, I really liked this. And I understand even more why Lala cannot forgive Schwartz. I support it. She shouldn't have to. She doesn't want to.
Focus on yourself, girl. And like,
agreed.
Like he is like, she's deprioritizing.
He's not worth
him.
it. Yeah, he's not worth it. But then she cries and a little bit of her spray tan comes off.
The worst.
And Katie fucking laughs, and I love Lala. Because Katie's like, I'm so sorry for laughing. Because I'm sure it looks funny, but this is a serious moment. And Lala's like, no, laugh at me. It's like fine. She's like, I know it's stupid.
The zoom in on her cheek. It's just so a funny little line.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're 24 hours until the Daily Mail party. Ariana and Tom are at their house. Tom's loading up a U-Haul. And then him and Ariana go to pick up a couch. And Ariana's like happy she's tagging along because like she never gets to see Sandoval anymore, so she's happy to spend time with him, and her love language is quality time.
I feel this,
and
girl.
all they've been doing is sleeping. So
that's so hard. Like, you want to champion, like Ariana probably wants to champion Sandoval and like support him, but like her needs matter too. So
agreed.
How do you say, like, I want this time with you, but I know you need to be doing this instead right now? Like,
I know. So it's nice of her to go like pick up the couch with him and stuff.
It kind of shows that like, even though like Schwartz and Katie, like they had other issues, like the bar, even in like a really supportive, strong relationship, still makes it struggle. And so their relationship already struggling, Katie and Schwartz's, like it was inevitable that it was going to break them. Like it's like kind of breaking Sandoval and Ariana, but they're not going to be broken by it.
Yeah. So we see the couch. It's over $3,000, and this is the third couch because the first one was $600 and the second one was $200.
I don't understand this. Why did they go through 3 couches? Is this them just not being able to decide?
Well, why is the one they like $3,000?
I want more on this.
The couch, we get no more, so we'll just move on.
I know, I'm just like, are you really changing things that many times? You're just so indecisive. And what have you done with the other 2 couches?
Do you see why Lucinda's fucking pissed?
Yes. You can't even decide on the dumbest thing, a couch.
So then we go to Villa Rosa. Lala's here to talk to Lisa. I missed Villa Rosa. I'm like really happy to be here. It's just not the same now that Lisa's not on Beverly Hills. Like
I agree. And she used to throw parties. Like there was more of her life in the early seasons, and she would host parties and the servers would work them. So we got to see her house quite a bit more.
I want to see her house all the time. Okay, so Lala tells her she's single and ready to mingle. Who wants to be a stepdad? Just kidding. But then Lisa asked about James because she heard through the grapevine that they've shagged a couple of times.
I love how much Lisa gets.
I do too. So they cheers their tea. Lisa really missed Lala, and Lala says she's holding a lot of weight right now with the custody stuff. People are calling Lala about Randall still. And Lisa's like, hey, can you think back and think about any like red flags you saw? Like, how'd you get in this position?
She
Which
approaches this
Lisa,
normal. Well, she kind of approaches it a little normal, but then she just keeps digging into this,
yeah,
like, come on, come on. Like, you really didn't
because
see anything?
Lala's like, of course, like all I've been doing is thinking about like what I missed and blah blah blah. And Lisa's like, but yeah, but you definitely missed something. Like you should have known. And Lala's like, how
Can
would
you
I have
not?
fucking known?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
I
rough.
think Lala did miss red flags, of course.
Yes.
But doesn't everybody in like a relationship they really want to make work?
Yes. Also, listen, I get what the internet is saying, right? Like Lala was the other woman that he
Yeah.
technically cheated on and then probably offered her stuff for sexual favors and maybe Lala thought it was like their relationship. I get the other side, but if you're so in love with someone, that's how abusive relationships happen. That is how like these toxic relationships
He has a
happen. People
power
say it's
dynamic
not going to
over
be
her.
me. Yes, but it is you. Like power dynamics, no matter what, are not good.
And like every
This shouldn't have
person
worked.
who has cheated with someone, like, are we gonna like point a finger at every single one of them and say you should have known?
Yeah, when
Like
they
this
get cheated
happens
on,
so
yeah.
often, you think that you're gonna be the one that they won't do this
Yes.
to. I see how like Lala's in this situation, and
Yeah.
it is so easy to put on blinders and like ignore things and say like,
Yeah.
oh, it was just a one-time situation with us, or like it was
I'm
different with
different.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like dig in so hard. And when the Toms did it, like they really like were blaming her.
It's not Lala's fault. Like, let's get
No,
that
like how
so
could you
incredibly
not see
clear.
this? I understand Lisa saying like, "Oh wow, do you like see any red flags now?" Or like, "Do you like looking back, do you see anything?"
Yeah.
Is a little different than like you really should have known.
Yeah, but like Lala wasn't gonna know. Okay, we've all been in a bad relationship where we can sit there and say we should have known better,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But we're not at fault for like how it happened.
Especially with like
Lala didn't
how
do anything.
severe some of this stuff is. Don't you think she would have taken her
Yeah,
daughter out of that situation had she
exactly.
really
If
known
she
what was going
knew,
on?
yeah. Also, Lala says she knows how the outside world thinks of her, and we flash to Jax telling her to suck
Ooh.
dick for Range Rovers, which was awful, and Katie calling her a whore, and that calling as I see it. That's how
Oh,
Katie
that
says
was a
it.
rough time.
Katie says it like she has a mouth, like a frog in her mouth, and I will never not laugh at it when she goes calling as I see it, and I'm always like, I think Lala won. But yeah, okay, so it's really heartbreaking because Lisa like keeps pushing and Lala breaks down and Lisa like recognizes that Lala's upset and says like I love you, and then Lisa says she thinks Lala was blinded because she wanted to believe the best, which is what we just
Yeah.
said. And yeah, at the beginning of the relationship, Lala thought maybe like Randall was married, but like then Randall flew Lala out to Arizona to talk to his therapist to say like he's not married. And Lala was like, okay, great. But then she is now talking to Randall's ex and learned that that woman was their marriage counselor.
How
What the
insane that
hell?
this woman was on Randall's side and like told
I
Lala lies. Like, how do
yes.
you not believe that? You were using a medical professional, potentially medical. I don't know if it was like actually a doctor type of person, but whatever, a professional to help validate your side of things.
Not only that, but to say like, no, Randall broke up with this woman and she's just too crazy to like not get it.
Yes, that like yeah,
Wild.
they're legally married, but Randall has been like working to get like I think her name Amber, the ex-wife,
I think
to
so.
see that like this marriage is in such disrepair like for years now. Are you kidding me? I would feel zero guilt and I would not feel like I was like helping him cheat on his wife if that was the state. Because the thing is like
Agreed.
divorces take a long time. So you can be legally married to someone and like met like kind of like the relationship
But be
be over.
separated. Yeah. Crazy that he did that. Although,
Yes.
if someone was like, go meet my therapist in Arizona, I might be like, no, I don't believe you.
Well,
Like,
I feel
so
like if they were like rich, that wouldn't be so weird.
I guess I think I'm skeptical because I don't believe in love totally. And like Lala does.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, I don't know about
if
you.
I felt like I had seen stuff and he was married online and I like brought it as like a concern and he was like, come with me to my therapist and we can talk about
and you'd
like,
be like,
how long we've been through this and like how long I've been visiting her
and the
like things we've
therapist
worked
does
through.
support. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, because you could say like, oh,
convinced.
he's been visiting me since like, you know, a year before they separated, about troubles in his marriage, like this has kind of been in disrepair for a while. Like that would really validate it for me. I'd be like, okay, fine, because I wouldn't want to date even
I'm convinced
a married person, even if they are going through a divorce. So if like
I'm
somebody was
convinced.
really trying to convince me, I'd be like, you know what, okay, fine, I'll take a pass at this.
I have nothing else to say. I told you I was convinced. Okay,
Yeah.
so Lala fell for everything. She really wished she had listened to people around her, but she has Ocean, and that's the best thing that
Yeah.
came out of this marriage. But then Lisa tells us that Randall wanted to see Lisa when Pandora gave birth.
Which I
And
think that was just a convenient date timing.
I
I
think it
don't think he
was
was trying to
too.
come over when Pandora had the baby.
I thought maybe it was like a congratulations, like, can I come
Mm,
see you? I have a present or
a
something.
reason to get FaceTime with
Yeah.
her. Mm.
But Randall already had a new girlfriend at that time. Actually,
Like,
he's had this girlfriend since Lala gave birth.
since March 2021. But then whenever Lala's weirded out that he came over because she said that the girlfriend moved in 2 days after Lala moved out.
Crazy. This man is unhinged.
I just, wow.
At least Lala knows nothing gets better than Lala can.
True.
Okay, so let's see where we go next. We go to Raquel's new apartment, which is a nice fucking apartment for someone who's a little broke.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this little apartment tour. Like, they're just normal people and I like seeing where they live.
Yes. This is lovely. Sheena's here. Sheena looks fucking so good. I cannot handle her.
Have been thinking that since episode 1, and then later at the Schwartz and Sandy's party, I'm like, she's amazing, fucking epic. After last season struggling with her like postpartum body and like feeling down about it, like she really struggled with that throughout the season. I was like, you know what, girl, you're looking fire. Like, we talked about body stuff. Like, it doesn't matter what size you are, but you can just tell she's radiating, you know?
She's radiating. And honestly, her style is so good. She does not want for style, but so good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, or Sheena's like, let's hear about the Peter date. And Raquel's like, oh, I cried. And Sheena's like, rough.
So good. I love this. I love talking about this.
So then we find out Graham doesn't feel good and James doesn't know because Raquel just learned what boundaries were, which we love. We love a boundary here. Yes. She didn't know because Tom Sandoval said to set boundaries and she was like, I don't know what that means. Raquel, but now she knows. And so she set a boundary with James and James isn't allowed to see Graham. Which
I think this is for the best. This isn't like Katie and Tom where like they got these dogs together. Yeah. They were together for 12 years. This is Raquel's dog and her and James just had a relationship.
She got Graham for graduating.
Yeah. Like it sucks. That is hard for James. Like, listen, if there's a social event and he can see him, I think that's wonderful to not really like withhold him. But like, I think if Raquel, like if she goes out of town or something and needs someone to watch Graham, she'd be like, hey, you busy? Yeah. The thing is, it ended really bad. Like I have a friend, her and her boyfriend of 3 years just broke up and she had a dog that he like learned to love. Yeah. But she is like, they're such adults that she will like drop the dog off if she's going out to be like, yeah, I think it should be friendly. Like, hey, if like James texted and said, hey, can I play with him for a little bit? Like, let him have it. But I don't think you need to check in and be like, hey, Graham's sick. But also, James and Raquel are not in that place yet. They have to get there. They do need to get a little bit better. I think this boundary is a little too harsh, but if Raquel needs it, I'm all for it. No, I think the boundary is great until her and James can be civil. It seems like there's a no contact order though. Yes, and that's 100%. What seems a little bit wild. 100%. Ariana's here too. She looks great too. Low rise sweatpants with a like a little crop top. Looks great. I wish I could fucking pull this off. Same. This is like 2000s, my dream. I'm loving this era of style. So great. Ariana and Sheena both saw Raquel make out with Peter, and she still doesn't remember. This is the DJ James Kennedy night.
But I guess she's cried 2 out of 4 dates with Peter, which makes me go, where were these others?
Oh, no. I think that was 2 out of 4 dates she's been on total.
Oh.
But
who else is she crying with?
Yeah. A 50% cry rate.
Oh, girl.
Like, I was understanding about the pageant thing because that's a topic that just probably hit a nerve, and she wasn't prepared to like cry. But two dates.
This is where I don't think she's ready to date.
No.
You can't, girl. No. Well,
I think you need some dates with therapy and like to like
therapy,
be a single self,
self-love.
Learn how to like be on your own, be comfortable being on your own, and then move into the dating.
More of the days with Sheena and Ariana. This is better. We should do this more. Great. So Ariana loves Raquel finding herself. She compares Raquel to Forrest Gump when Forrest is running and his leg brace breaks off.
So good.
And says like it's magical. Raquel says she doesn't want to make out with Peter when she's sober, so she's gonna talk to him, which just means you don't have feelings for him.
No, it just means you're lonely when you're drunk and you want a body, not him.
Yes. So we got to eat with James and Allie. I want to say this is one of the worst dates I've ever seen. So I don't know how I feel about Allie, but I also want to tell you about a TikTok I saw. I don't know if I sent it to you. It was about James. Basically, you didn't. This therapist went through and explained why James is a narcissist. And basically was like put all these points together, but a big one was like, these women are interchangeable, and was like, compare Allie to Raquel. Like, they both kind of don't have a backbone when they first meet James, and they're like a little more quiet and timid, and like James loves to be the top, the center of attention, the one that is in charge, and that's his narcissism. He just needs someone to feed that. He doesn't care who they are. They're interchangeable, which I was like, that's wild.
Wild. I mean, it's just like Jax though.
Yes, Jax is also a narcissist. Are they the same? We've been saying this for years.
Yes, the only difference is like James is a DJ and Jax is a bartender.
So yeah, let's get into this. So James is obsessed with Allie's looks, keeps commenting on how hot she is.
I hate when people, like James said, I've never seen a girl with more beautiful hair than you. And I'm like, I hate fake ass compliments like those from anyone.
What does that even mean?
Like, okay, what? You've tested all the hair in every woman that you've ever seen, and she has the best.
Allie should have responded, Raquel's hair is actually really nice. Actually, I love Raquel's hair.
It's such a non-compliment.
And then James says he's DJing the Daily Mail party, and he knows Schwartz and Sandoval aren't ready, which he's right, because then we cut to Schwartz and Sandy's, and they're not ready. Everything's a mess. Schwartz, though, weirdly is very excited for Katie to come here. He knows he can't blame the bar for the demise of his marriage. But like Katie finally gets to see, and Sandoval's like, okay, this bar's like rough though for your marriage, so good luck. So Greg then warns them, Greg had warned them earlier and said, this bar though, I'm going to need you to show up. It's going to destroy your life. It's going to destroy your family. It's going to destroy your house. Like, you're going to not have any of that. And Schwartz doesn't have any of it. So
no, he doesn't have his house. He doesn't have his marriage.
R.I.P. baby.
Ooh.
Sandoval understands how this bar broke Katie and Schwartz because his relationship with Ariana also struggled, but he's like just grateful that him and Ariana were able to work through it. He's very grateful for Ariana as a person. Yeah. I think there obviously was a lot of lead up to Katie and Schwartz. We have seen it since season 2.
Yep.
Okay. Tom and Ariana, the only big one thing that he has done wrong was I'm going to go to Vegas on your dad's death / birthday.
Not good. But here's the thing, while you said Schwartz and Katie had a lead up to this, like with Ariana and Sandoval's been so supportive of Ariana. Yes. They've been mutually supportive of each other. And so where Sandoval probably, I don't know for sure, but can only assume that he has not been able to support like Ariana to his fullest extent at this time. She is okay with that because she knows like once this troubling or like exhausting period is over, like the bar will open and he will be able to give 100% back to Ariana in due time.
Plus, I think, like I said, Katie and Ariana and Tom both the Toms, they're all very different people. Mm-hmm. But I think like Katie and Tom Schwartz, there was a lot of compatibility issues.
Yeah. Katie didn't have a good Schwartz even without this bar.
Yeah. Yes. There's nowhere else to go from this.
No.
Yes. Okay, so Daily Mail is coming in 17 minutes to
I'm
check
stressed.
out the place.
They are in like work clothes. There's just shit everywhere, ladders everywhere. I was like, Jesus Christ, you're stressing me out.
It's being held together by duct tape and hope.
No, this is not how you launch a place. Even soft launch.
Let's go back to
No, I'd rather stay at the mess of a bar.
We're going back to lunch with James and Allie. So Allie met everyone, all the Vanderpump Rules friends. It was uncomfortable but good. And then James is like, who'd you talk to the most? And Allie's like, Raquel. And James is like, I am less than thrilled about this that I'm learning. Like,
which I get that. That is kind of weird.
But then Allie's like, I think Raquel's sweet, which is a good move. Don't shit talk the ex on TV, girl. We locked. I love that move. But James is like, yeah, she has her moments though. Like how she doesn't let me see Graham. Like the minute Allie was on my Instagram, I couldn't see Graham anymore.
I don't think that was at all related, but James has no idea what's going on and can't see past his own perspective. So all he sees, is this is a slight.
Because then he's like, I don't want to share custody and go over there and be like, how's Peter's dick? I'm like, why would you have to say that?
Then don't.
And then shames Peter's dick.
My God.
Like this man cannot just, I mean, he was made for this. He's a star, but it's not good. So then James feels weird about Peter and Raquel, like a bit freaky, and he was pissed, but now he's over it and he's in a good place and he's in love with Allie and it's great. And then James says when he first, then they start talking about when James told Allie that he loved her for the first time.
God.
Allie thought it was really quick, but you know how James is. He's all go. Go.
I appreciate her being honest and being like, I didn't believe him and I waited to like believe him like that he loved me. And I'm like, good. I'm glad you're not just like so wrapped into this that you believed he loved you within like probably, I bet in a month he said he loved her.
I truly want to know what these two talk about without cameras. Like, is it weird?
I don't know. I just can't actually imagine dating James.
I can't either. You want to get to the best part? So their food comes.
No.
Allie goes, oh, it's like really juicy and it's like kind of dripping. And James explains to her that when eating a juicy burger, you should lean over your plate and eat it. And she goes, I know how to eat.
I'm so happy she said that. This is giving me hope that she is like, has like at least a backbone in her body, even if it's not straight. As
I said before, men just need to shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
She's had a fucking burger and he's like, don't spill on the dress. I'm like, even if she spilled, life will go on.
Let the girl spill. But then she takes a big old bite. He goes, that's a big bite. That's sexy. And I went, what? And then she has a leaf hanging out of her mouth and he goes, give me that. And he eats it. Because she's like, no. But then he like, licks
the corner of her mouth to get like I was just like, this isn't cute. I can't tell if he's like trying to be cute for the camera, but it's not. This isn't like ice cream or like whipped cream that got on her nose from dessert.
This is up there for me. For those of us who had to suffer through Summer House, it is up there with me of the nurse costume. Like, it's just not it for me. I don't want it. I didn't ask for it. It should be illegal to show this to me without my permission and consent.
Seriously.
I'm going to sue Bravo soon.
I really want to be on one of those, like, shows. Bravo used to have it where like people sat on the couch and watched the show. I'm telling you, my facial reactions have to be incredible.
I wouldn't have to say one thing. I would just, my whole face would be like, what the fuck is
I talk
happening?
at the TV by myself.
I do too.
During this, I was like, stop. No.
I just went, ew. I was like, oh, why? I hated it. So that happened.
Yeah.
Great.
Never talking about it again.
I hate it. So Schwartz and Sandy's. Let's go back there. It's a safe spot.
Weirdly, I'm thrilled about this place.
It's
Anything
safe
to get over.
Sandoval makes his entrance. I love how they have the camera and they do their angles and like pose. That's great because Schwartz does it in his pink suit too. He does a little turn and like points.
What? To be honest, I was really excited about seeing this place.
I was too.
There's a lot of lead up to this.
Raquel and Ariana are getting ready together. Katie is getting ready in her new apartment. She's excited for Schwartz, but this bar has put a huge strain on her relationship. It was a big presence in her life, and she didn't have any say in it, which is honestly true. I know I was always like, Katie, it's not your fucking bar. Stop inserting.
But it had effect on her life, and she didn't get any say about it. Not in it, but just about the situation. I think she's talking about. She tried
to get involved to be like, we could do this together, but he didn't want that, and she didn't have a say to be like, can you not work at the bar tonight?
Yes. Always like I think she wanted to be truly involved. They obviously shut her down, but yes, exactly what you're saying. Like she didn't get to request Tom's presence or his energy or anything instead of the bar, or like to have her side to back her up in anything. It was always the bar was prioritized over her.
Yes. So Katie also, someone tweeted this and I couldn't unsee it. She does one full eye of makeup and then does the other one.
I saw you post that tweet and I thought about this, and you know what? Honestly, if you're gonna have to redo it because you like hate the colors or something, not a bad way to go. I don't do this. I do exactly the same on each and I build it up. But if you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your eye, one palette is not.
I just need to know, do other people do this?
Good question.
I've never thought about that.
No, I don't.
I've just thought if like my mascara is out, I'm gonna just do the mascara.
I do it in layers and I build it up on both sides the same like time.
Yes. This is crazy. So, but I love it, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, okay, back to Schwartz and Sandy's. James and Allie are here because James has to set up his DJ equipment, and they bring him to the DJ booth, and he has to sit on toilet paper.
Just like the Tom party. This was cute. I like loved this little like this was fun. Nod to the old days.
This is very fun. We have our first Brock sighting.
To be honest, didn't even notice him.
Wee.
This is really the only time I guess he's a part of it, because I did not notice until you posted that tweet about how we barely saw him.
Yeah, we saw him walking.
Keep forgetting he exists.
And he did he's like, do a twirl. And she's like, okay.
Don't remember it at all.
10 out of 10.
That's
all I need from Brock. That was it. That was perfect. Ariana looks goddamn fucking amazing. I think I have a crush on her. Katie looks amazing. I think I have a crush on her. And Sheena looks amazing. I think I have a crush on her.
People are knocking it out of the park this season.
The men cannot compare.
No.
The men are such slobs compared to these women.
I love this aspect of the show. I feel like we get cute outfits from Summer House, but like we get fashion.
I want an entrance. I want to look at you and go, holy shit.
That's something like we don't get in Summer House, is like the walk up to the building, the entrance in a door. You know, like we live with Summer House, so we see them get ready, versus this, like we see them walk up.
Exactly. Okay. So as we keep going, Lala goes to say hi to Allie because they talked last time and now they're like,
this is nice. Like this is people really should be polite and like try to make Allie feel comfortable, especially with James being distracted at the DJ.
Agreed. So you might be thinking, why the hell's Lala here if she hates Schwartz? And that's true, she does hate Schwartz, but she likes Sandoval still,
and she can appreciate hard work. And you know what? An opening is an opening. Plus, like, we're filming a fucking show. She has to go.
Spoiler though, she doesn't like Sandoval in real time.
Interesting.
She saw last episode, saw what Sandoval said about her, being like, Lala should have known.
Good.
Lala went on Watch What Happens Live and said, I'm coming for Sandoval at the reunion.
Good. I really think they need to answer for that, because this like Good Old Boys Club, they've always had it on Vanderpump. Yes. But like, I'm tired of the guys just getting away with shit because they're nice and they're funny and like they stay out of drama.
Well, he's the number one guy in the group. Stop. Can't get in trouble. Okay, so place looks incredible. Raquel walks in, James clocks her immediately, so he goes around the DJ booth to go kiss Allie.
I fucking hate people like this.
Awful. Lisa and Ken are here.
Woo-hoo!
Lisa's impressed that they created a whole restaurant design from being on mushrooms.
It is exactly what they wanted it to be.
That's
why, you know what? I give them applause
Wild.
for her. They made it a reality.
Also, someone double check this for me. Are the Toms drinking Coors Light? Because how fucking rude that they have amazing drinks, but they were drinking out of cans. It better be a fancy ass beer, but it was a silver can.
I saw a beer bottle later in the episode. I did think it was weird that they were drinking beer, but if you're gonna, they like earlier, Schwartz was drinking the cocktails and he was like, I'm already buzzed. So if you're trying to like slow down and be normal,
I'm not opposed to beer, but it's illegal to drink Coors Light at this kind of event. I can't.
I do agree.
Illegal. Okay, so Ariana and Katie talk. Katie's very excited to be here, but she knows people are going to keep asking her why she's here, and that could be totally annoying.
Again, we're filming a fucking show. Like, what do you think she's not going to come?
Why are you here? I'm a member of the show.
She said on, I saw a clip of Watch What Happens Live, and she said like later, whenever she's like talking to Tom, she's just annoyed because everybody kept coming up to her being like, I can't believe you're here. That would get so old.
Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Oh, so then Ariana and Katie are walking through the restaurant and they like run into Tom Schwartz, and Tom and Katie do like an awkward, weird hug. And he's like, Katie, look at the stuff I bought. Remember, I showed you this. Like stuff awkward. When they were fucking married. It was so awkward. But then, okay, so then we cut to Lisa. Lisa's talking to James and Allie, his beautiful girlfriend, as she's introduced by James. And Lisa's like, I know who this is. So
we've met.
Thanks. And James is doing really well working at SUR, even though Raquel's working there. And James is like, it's just weird because Peter and Raquel are dating. And Allie goes, no, they just made out. And either way, Lisa's like, what?
This is why James is so good at reality TV.
So good.
He is serving it up so naturally to be like,
so good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the only reason it's not weird for me and Raquel, it's just weird because of Raquel Peter, and he's like shifting it. But also good on Allie for again kind of like being nice to Raquel and being like, no, stop trying to.
They just made out when they were drunk.
Yeah. Although they have gone on a date.
Either way, Lisa clocks the power dynamic.
We love.
So meanwhile, Peter is actually flirting with Raquel. Raquel's trying to shut it down, but it's not working because she's not. Girl, you gotta be clear. These men cannot pick up hints. No. You gotta be goddamn fucking. Especially if you already went on a date with him. You gotta be so goddamn clear. Like, I'm just not that into you. Immediate.
I just don't see this going anywhere, especially because you work with him. This isn't just a guy you can ghost.
Yeah, so whatever. Peter's like, what was it? Raquel's like, I'm gonna need another drink. And Peter goes, let me go get you one. I'll be back before you know it, and like runs away. And I was like,
yeah, I was like, oh God.
Oh, so then God. Raquel's like talking to Sheena. And Sheena's like, dude, you gotta fucking talk to him. You cannot like lead his ass on.
Everybody can see it that she's not into it, but Peter's not. And so it's like even more, you're like, you just gotta say something.
Here's the thing, right? And I'm making a generalization, but white men love when you're just not that into them, because then they're gonna be super into chase. You. Yeah. They think it's so fun. I went on, and I've talked about this before, I went on 4 dates with this dude. He literally is sitting on my couch, and I'm telling him how much he sucks, how much I hate him, how I'm trying to help him with his game for the next girl, because it's sure as hell not going to be me. And his ass was still obsessed with me for weeks after. I had to literally be like, yo, I'm not that into you.
That is true. I have like shut people down and been like, I'm just not into this.
Men cannot take hints. If they are into you, if you gave them an inch, like we go on a few dates, right? Raquel made out. You give them a little
interest and then just say no.
Raquel made out with this dude multiple times and agreed to a date and went on a date with him that like he was really nice on, and she opened up. Yeah. He's probably like, she got vulnerable. She could literally not speak to him all night and he'd be like, she's into me. Like, you cannot.
He wants to pursue her and he's getting to pursue her because she's not giving it all.
Women, on the other hand, if you don't even look my way, I'm gonna be like, he fucking hates me.
I'm destroyed. Like, I'm like, wow.
I can't believe we just broke up.
Yeah.
It's opposite for men, because they have all this confidence happening coming from nowhere. It's deserved nowhere.
Oh,
so
God.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Thank God Lisa's able to get our thoughts across, because
Sheena and Lisa are breaking this up.
Thank God. So Lisa goes to talk to Peter, and Lisa's like, hey, you have anything you want to tell me? And Peter's like, no. And Lisa's like, well, I heard about you and fucking Raquel. Absolutely not. She's one of your employees. You're a manager.
Yes. This isn't just
the
like
manager.
You hooking up with like Katie back in the day. Also, the age difference doesn't play well, you know?
Like, yes. Also, he dated both Stassi and Katie, I think, before they were under him. Also, he was a manager, but he wasn't the manager. I'm sure he is head general manager dude at SUR. Yeah. He's Lisa's right-hand man at this point.
Even if he's not, he has so much more tenure, and he's like, the relationship-wise he has with Lisa and everyone there, like, he has much more power than he did back in 2013.
Yeah, he couldn't even control his fucking employees then.
No.
Awful.
No, he could barely still get off for the group trips.
Horrible. And then Lisa even paints it further and is like, you can't hook up with your employee. Like, I can't go shag Andy Cohen. Dead. To which the producer is like, for many reasons, but you do you, girl. And Lisa's like, it's just the power dynamic. He's my boss. Yeah.
See, that's why I can't shag Andy.
It's fine. He would if he could. So Lisa then goes, we'll have to talk again really soon, and starts to leave. And Peter goes, okay, love you. And Lisa doesn't say it back.
Oh, gosh.
Someone convinced me that these two do not have like a flirting affair. Like, Lisa is emotionally involved with Peter.
Lisa flirts with everyone, but in such a great way. Like, I wish I could be her in so many facets of life, but her flirting and banter.
Yeah, exactly. Still there. Yes. So Ariana's talking to Katie, hoping her and Sandoval can spend some time together. Then Raquel goes to talk to Peter, and Raquel's like, hey, Peter, thanks for getting me this drink, but actually I don't see a future with you. I want to break things off before it gets complicated. And then we cut to 74 seconds earlier when Lisa told him to never go out with Raquel again. And then Raquel goes, do you agree? And Peter goes, I agree. I've never dumped a dude and said, do you agree?
Neither have I.
Because I don't care.
Awkward.
I don't
but also
care
Raquel is so thrown off because
Peter goes, yeah, I agree. And she goes, what the fuck? I thought I would hurt his feelings a little more. Raquel.
Okay, yeah, but like 5 minutes ago, he's all over her. That is a little like, she doesn't know about the Lisa conversation. So it is a little jarring to be like, wow, he was like all over me, so into me, and now he doesn't want to be together.
If you really like someone, but they come up to you and say, I don't see a future with you, I want to break this off because it's going to get complicated.
No matter what.
Do you agree? I'd be like, yeah, I agree, and go to the bathroom and cry alone.
That's true. To save face, everybody would
we could be married, and
this is why you don't say, do you agree? Because you're opening yourself up to the rejection rather than just the rejector.
Don't give them the power to agree.
No.
But then she gets worse because she's clearly not broken up with a lot of people. She then hugs him and is like, I really appreciate you as like a friend, as a manager. And in my notes just say, girl, walk away.
Right.
Get out of here.
I mean, listen, I haven't broken up with people, but like, no, this is not, I would never do this. I would run away as fast as possible.
Yeah, then she goes, see you tomorrow at SUR. Nope. You got
this
to
is why you
jobs. You have
don't
to move.
Date.
Get out.
Like your manager.
Run. Get out of this situation.
Yeah.
Just to know, if any of you get dumped by me, I will never tell you how much I appreciate you. Absolutely
especially this early on. They didn't date for like 3 months and just realized it doesn't work out. You went on one date and made out twice.
Raquel could have been funny and said, sorry, I cried, but I'm just like not feeling it.
Yeah.
I cried because I like had to be there, you know?
God.
Okay, so people really like the drinks. Scheana goes to talk to Schwartz because she's so proud of him and she thinks their Schwartz and Sandy sign is super sick.
It's cool, but like,
so
nothing special.
Sheena's a real one because she's been a supporter since the beginning. And then she's like, hey, Schwartz, now that you're like back to being kind of a success and now that you're like divorced, you should come on my podcast because I'm divorced and we can talk about divorce. To which I think, Sheena, what happened to the divorce closet? No, I'm just...
You're so right. I always forget about that with Rob. She did have Rob on her podcast.
I know,
Rob Violetta. What was your read on like Sheena pitching this divorce podcast?
Sheena's just trying to get clout.
Yes.
But someone fight me. Sheena is a hustler. She will never not get what she wants.
Sheena, don't pitch it as, hey, because she says in her interview, I just want to get Schwartz's side on like on the divorce because I've never had him solo on my podcast. Girlie, stop trying to get his quote unquote take on the divorce and just say, I want you on my podcast solo.
I weirdly support her quest for clout.
Like, I know. This is what gets her into trouble. Is she is so specific that she's like, it comes off like she's coming for, like she's trying to get dirty details out of Schwartz. Does.
But like, listen, I posted this poll. I was like, who's more bred for reality TV? James, Lala, Jax, or Sheena? Because when I think of a reality TV star, Sheena's great. Sheena is going to get herself into trouble. Scripts it
herself.
She knows.
James is just unhinged.
Yeah, James is unhinged. Jax is a psychopath. Lala is just like insane. Sheena, though, knows this is going to get her into trouble and goes, I'm going to still do that thing. She doesn't think about consequences, which is exactly what I want in Sheena. I want her to do stupid shit and be like, why are you talking about?
But the thing is, then she goes, uh-oh, whereas James is like, who the fuck cares even if somebody's mad at me?
Yeah, she's going to be that person now that's like, don't be mad at me.
Yes. She can't own her shit afterwards, though. She can't be like, I didn't mean to do this. And it's yes, you did. Look at
we all know I'm a Sheena apologizer. I can't. Apologist.
We get this in the next time on, and I'm like, Sheena, you're literally digging your grave right here.
It literally is 24 hours later. Sheena's in trouble.
Yes.
Like, I can't. So Schwartz thought Sheena was going to set him up on a date because when she propositioned it, she was like, I have a thing for you. And he's like, oh no, it's a podcast. But Sheena's like, no, but like, also, why should you be afraid to date if Katie's doing it? Which was like a draw. I was like, oh, what if he didn't know? Which does.
He plays it off like he doesn't. He's like, what? And
she was like, what?
Died laughing. I was like, that was pretty funny, Schwartz.
That was awesome. But also, this was reminiscent of James going, oh, it's awkward with Raquel and Peter. Like, Sheena, if Schwartz really didn't know, girl, you just said it without thinking. The consequences. Okay, so Sandoval then has like a wooden board with 400 shots on it, which is really fun. And then Greg says hi to Lisa. And then we learn that Greg rides a motorcycle, which is fun. And then Greg complains about the Toms because he doesn't know how Lisa worked with the Toms. And I can tell you why. They only owned 5%.
I was about to say, as soon as he was like, I don't know how you dealt with them. I was like, well, Lisa gave them very few things that they could control. Yeah. Everything was a no. That this is what boundary setting is. Lisa working with the Toms.
Do you think Greg, Tom, and Tom have a three-way even keel, 33% each?
I don't know if it's even, but I will say that Greg can't shut the Toms down like Lisa did, because no matter what percentage they own, I think collectively it'll either be equal or more than Greg. So like their combined vote is what is destructive.
I kind of think I would love to see the math, but my idea is probably the Toms collectively own like 51% and Greg owns 49%.
Yeah.
It's like a rough thing for him. But yeah, Lisa's basically like, listen, dude, you fucking did it wrong. You should never signed up with these fools. Yeah. But Greg really hates these two. He is so goddamn mad that they're pissing away money. Those are his words.
The fact that he said every day is $1,000.
Wild.
Insane.
to the point that literally Greg's like, Lisa, take him back. I like don't want him. And I think he's dead ass serious too. He's like, fuck these dudes.
We get those flashbacks to Lisa like setting up and building and planning Tom.
Hey, I ordered our shot glasses and they're like really translucent shot glasses that have like little bubbles that float out the top, but like you can drink the bubbles.
And like people can take the shot glass home. And Lisa's like, no, they get so into the details that they forget that like, hey, this is just a business at the end of the day that we need to run. This isn't like a museum or a pop-up bar or like something just fun and flirty, like a party. Honestly, they look at it like they're throwing a party and like it's all about the decor and the little fun things. Like that's what people remember about a party, like a fun shot glass that we all did shots together and I got to take it home. That's not what running a business is, especially a restaurant.
Crazy. So Greg hates him. And then Allie asked James to play some Shania Twain.
Lala says no.
Hey, can you play, but she says Shania, like, can you play some Shania? And I was like, who's that?
Oh God.
And Lala had to be like, Shania Twain. No. Also they keep cutting to the scene of Peter alone at the bar.
Oh, it was like, so sad.
Depressed.
Well, but this is like where I was like, oh, there's a vast difference in like Peter's age and this younger cast's age and just like where they are at in life. Like they don't work at CERN anymore. So there's not really this like bond of like, we all work together. We're work friends. Like it's Peter and it's them.
Yes. But also that was the exact same shot when Raquel was talking about why she doesn't like Peter with Sheena. That was the exact angle.
Yeah, but it's not like he was sitting around at that table.
Because Tom Schwartz at one point goes to like mess with James's DJ stuff and Peter is right there. And then they cut to him at the bar alone. And I was like, we're really doing Peter a little dirty. Ooh. But like, okay, if you want.
Seriously.
Okay, so then Schwartz and Katie do a little sit and shot together. And they're at this table. And Katie's like, hey, your bar really has good vibes. And Schwartz is like, that's the nicest thing you could have ever said to me. And so Schwartz is like, yeah, the bar's great, but there's nothing that could replace not being with my family when they needed me most and like not being there for you. And I feel like I got sucked into this whole thing and it nearly broke like us as individuals, but it did break us as a couple. And Katie's just like, was it worth it? And I screamed out loud.
Well, that was the name of this episode. Was it worth it? So I knew that quote was going to have to come from, well, I didn't know if it was going to come from Katie. I thought maybe it would come from somebody else, but I knew that question was going to be posed to Schwartz. But like, why did Schwartz say this to her? What is she supposed to say? Like, why do we have to have this exact conversation and be so honest at an event like this?
I don't know. Because then like Katie's like, was it worth it? And Tom's like, Bub, I don't know how to answer that. And then
he can't, because to be honest, I bet it's a no.
I bet it's a no. So Schwartz doesn't want Katie to think that he chose the bar over her. And then when he says that, Katie starts crying and says he chose a lot over her. And I was like, oh, my whole
I think
heart.
Katie is being actually really nice to him by
I think so too.
She was not the one who like brought up this topic, but I don't think she's trying to make him feel guilty for this bar over their relationship, because the thing is, the relationship is over. It's not like she just posed the question to him like, let's get a divorce. They are basically divorced. I don't know if they're legally divorced at this point, but they are separated. Like there is no going back. So this bar and restaurant is his future. So I think she's trying to toe that line of like being honest and saying this broke us. This helped break us. But also this is your future and I don't want to destroy you.
Yeah. Katie's being really nice and you can see she's just heartbroken.
Yeah.
Because even though she divorced Tom, right? She didn't want to.
And I bet she still loves him. You know, this isn't an easy choice.
12 years. That's crazy to not still love someone. But she knew like it was just going to get worse. She wasn't happy.
She was never going to get what she needed.
So then she like in her interview is basically like, Tom never chose me. And we saw this in an argument when they were picking sides. He always had to be devil's advocate just against Katie. Always.
I mean, not even Katie alone. Like, look at the Lala stuff. He's like devil's advocate of like, oh, I don't want to pick sides between you and Randall. And we're like, obviously Randall's a piece of shit. This isn't a hard decision. Tom always has to like either play the middle or be on the opposite side of people.
Agreed. He like, and Katie knew that. So Katie then compares the bar to like the other woman of their marriage, and Katie's basically like standing inside her. So it is like very traumatic to be like, it's like when you go meet the mistress that your husband is now dating or like married to, because
I
like,
mean, Brandy meeting Sheena at Sir.
Amazing.
Like, how did this show was,
but that dude didn't end up with Sheena.
No.
Tom's ending up with this mistress almost.
Yeah, it's really hard to celebrate something that broke your marriage.
Yes. So they're trying to move forward, but Tom is self-aware of what happened. Schwartz is now crying in his interview, talking about how he watched The Notebook recently, and Ryan Gosling goes, it's not over. It was never over. And he thinks maybe he should have fought for Katie like that. And dude, I think you should have fought for her for the past 12 years because we didn't see you fucking do it at all.
Yeah.
If Katie serves you with divorce papers, that's not the time to go, it's never been over for me. No, dude, like it's
right there. TikTok is the greatest place because people talk about so many things. I saw a TikTok that was a marriage counselor talking about how a lot of times men will finally agree to counseling when divorce papers are like coming. And they're like, that's too late. It's over. You can't fight for someone when they say they want to be out. Like the woman is, and it's not, that's just a generalization, but like the person who wants to be done, when they finally say they're done, that's not the time to start fighting. You've got to fight for them every single day. And Tom did not fight for her any day.
Yeah. And she's done.
He didn't even freaking file the marriage papers with their first wedding.
Wild. This man is a mess. So Schwartz says he's so in love. Oh, because then they're talking. He's like, I'm so in love with this whole bar. But was it worth it? Yeah. I don't know. And Katie's just heartbroken. Because if you look at it too, right? Tom still has a love. Like Katie doesn't. Katie like has to love herself. She doesn't have anything to like distract her.
But she's also the one who left. Like she's the one who finalized it. So I think she's a little bit better off in that way where Tom isn't also.
They're both struggling. It's a hard situation. So next time on Vanderpump Rules, it looks crazy. Katie and Lala go out with Ty the hot guy and his friend, and Lala said she hasn't given a blowjob in a really long time, which is also listen, don't
that's kind of shocking from Lala.
This isn't really my first date rhetoric either. I'm not
but that's so Lala. Like when she was talking to Lisa, she talked about how she's all talk. Like she talks like a big game, and she really talks she talks a lot about this stuff.
That's true. Raquel and James talk about James having sex with Lala while he was dating Raquel.
Wow.
Schwartz goes on Sheena's podcast, and Sheena brings up a rumor that Schwartz and Raquel made out at Coachella, and then was like, do you want to make that rumor true?
See, that's so dirty. Like, you're not being a good friend to Katie. That's the thing. Like, ooh.
That's the one. Oh, rough. Oh, rough. Because then Katie calls Sheena a shitty person. Ariana doesn't like Brock, which left field, but let's bring it in. James yells at Sheena, and Katie yells at Schwartz for probably having Sheena's back.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Wild.
I can't. This is where the teaming up between James and Katie can start.
I want them to be like, we're gonna make out in front of you now just to piss you off.
I think Allie would even be like, get after it. You guys need the healing.
Yeah. James would be like, Allie, I'm doing this. And she'd be okay. And Katie would be like, we're fucking vindictive. We're doing this.
I would cackle.
I would love that. That would be the highlight of my whole Vanderpump life.
Me too.
Okay, we got to do accepted and blocked, where we pick a person we accept into our social media and someone we block for the entire week because my God.
Let's do it.
Okay. Or wait, yeah, I'll do this and then I'll read you
the comments.
The comments we have.
Perfect. What do you want to do first?
Let's do accepted. Let's end on blocked and then we'll do comment.
Okay, I'm accepting Katie.
Nice.
I think she is being such the bigger person. This is such a difficult situation, but she is doing the best she can. And to be honest, she's like, obviously it's difficult, but I think she is thriving through it.
Yes.
And to be honest, I think that this party helps put a bookend on like a terrible last season to be like, you know what, it's done. I'm free from this relationship. I'm free from like also the stress of like this getting open, quote unquote. There's still some obviously opening to go, but I think this will also stop people's questions about her ever going in there, going to Tom's bars. Like, I just feel like it's kind of like a healing thing for her. And I really commend her for going through this.
I love that. And I love Katie, but I'm going to pick someone different. I'm going to pick Lala. I think she was open and raw and honest this episode. I liked her talking about with Lisa. Even Lisa came really hard at her, but she was able to communicate. Like, I didn't see any red flags. I wish I had listened to people, but I still love my daughter. I loved how serious she got with Katie at the tanning, but she's still able to be fun and upbeat and like she still has this Lala-esque about her. I love. Okay, who are we blocking?
I have to block Schwartz. I just hate him. It's gonna be a while before I'm not mad at him. Like, I hate no other answer so much. I don't like how I feel like he still feels like the victim of this, and I don't like that. Like that this just happened to him and he had no control over this.
For sure.
And also, I can't deal with it.
Also, Greg hates him, so
I'm Team Greg.
I'm Team Greg.
Actually, I'm not Team Greg because Greg is the one who chose to go into business with them.
Yeah, Greg's got to think better.
Stupid project happen.
I'm gonna pick James. I'm hurt inside. The TikTok where I saw what a narcissist he is. Thing? Well, that's my second reason. First, the TikTok really makes me think like James does not care about these women at all. He is a super narcissist.
Yeah.
And then, it's just never acceptable for me to eat a leaf out of someone else's mouth. That was just so
There's very few foods that make sense, but really like a leaf?
It's not necessary. Also, if this man ever mansplained how to eat a hamburger, I would deck him immediately and walk out the restaurant with my burger in hand.
If there's two things I know how to do, it's eat and drink booze.
Yeah, I don't need your opinion.
No.
Okay, let's read what Sarah
really
said.
Quick. Also, Talk of Shame, I follow her on Instagram, was all over this episode. She was next to Sheena and Schwartz whenever they were talking. She was in this episode everywhere. It was so cool.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, I just remember it happening live whenever it happened in real life, and it being all over her Instagram. So it's fun to see her in person.
Invite us to the Daily Mail party next year. We'll go.
I want to be a creator on it.
We'll go. Okay, Sarah left us a comment. She said, I live for Vanderpump Rules because I live for this podcast. Brief thoughts. I love Lala. Peter has, I think, officially kind of given me the ick. I know I'm like freaking out. I like don't know what to do with myself. Like, why am I not rooting for James and Peter more? I like don't know. I don't know what to do. Like I want him to be so much better than he is.
I just need him to stay in, if he's gonna be on it, stay in your lane of just being the manager of Sir.
Sarah, I'm breaking. I wish Katie and Schwartz had been able to make it work, but alas, it didn't. Just like how Schwartz didn't make the bucket hat work. Apologies to all fans of bucket hats, but nobody over the age of 25 has any business wearing one. I fucking agree. Mom, if you're listening to this, take your bucket hat fucking off. I don't care if it covers
I think there's
face.
One exception. If you're like on a boat or in a lake, weirdly, I think they
anytime she's in the sun. Anytime.
I don't think they work in like the Schwartz situation, but I'll give people a pass on a boat.
No.
They're like a fun party like accessory.
My problem is if I hate a fashion trend, I don't care where or what we're doing. I will fight about it.
I don't want people to wear them out in like normal life.
I don't care where, like that's my issue with fashion.
It's just like those tank top, the sorority tank tops. Like you can wear that on a dock and like those don't need to actually see the real light of day.
No. Never. Sarah then says, and I know you guys love Sheena. I don't hate her, but to me, she currently feels a little bit irrelevant, I guess. She is. That's why she's bringing Schwartz on her podcast and is gonna start some drama. Listen, I know it's like I'm not against people that hate Sheena because I get it. I easily can.
There are valid
Sheena.
reasons.
I totally get it.
It's like a moth to a flame. Sheena to this reality TV show is a moth to a flame, and you're just like, I get why all of this happens.
No, we are the moths, and Sheena is the flame. She just keeps burning us, but we can't help but like her. Not so much you. I weirdly love Sheena.
I just can't back her on some of her. I want her to stay strong in her shitty decisions if she's gonna do them. Be like Lala.
Just own it, girl.
Yeah, that's what bothers me. It would make for better TV in my mind if she would just be like, fuck you, Katie. Yeah, I had Schwartz on my podcast.
Yeah, Sarah, technically you're right. We should hate Sheena, but we can't.
We do dislike her.
I don't. I'm so wrong. I don't.
No, but it's like a love to hate her for you, I think. Like, you're like, girly, no, but you're like, yeah, but keep giving it to me. Yes, but no.
I root for her, but I know she's not going to do
what I want. You know she's in the wrong.
It's like a kid that can't walk. I'm like rooting for you to walk, but I know you're not gonna. I know. I just like don't want it. Like I want it so bad.
Dead. What?
Okay. Your sister's in labor. I had to go back to kids.
Oh,
okay.
Gosh.
Sarah says she could have missed the soft opening and it wouldn't have made a difference to this episode. I feel, except for this podcast stuff that's going to stir the pot. What do you guys think? Dude, I agree. I have no idea what
she is. She is like right now in the show, she is more friend of. Like she doesn't have a storyline around herself.
Yes.
We know she will because she's getting married, but this is how much Sheena is irrelevant. Brock's not shown at all. Like that tells you where the status of Sheena is on the show.
We haven't seen her kid
this episode.
Like she's a full kid, and
I don't think there's going to be a lot of kids because Ocean can't be on it. Randall won't let her.
Yeah.
So I think the kids as storylines has gone away because then it's just Sheena's kids.
But isn't it crazy though? We haven't even seen Sheena like in her house playing with her kid, being like, I'm growing as a mom, but she says she films that shit and it gets cut.
Yeah.
And it's like sad for Sheena because it's so bad. They don't even put it in the shitty episode.
It's just not worth it to them.
They show James sucking a leaf out of a mouth and they can't show Sheena's kid.
Have more interesting stuff with every other person, but there is a lot going on with the breakups. That's overshining it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sheena's just got to wait for everyone else to be more irrelevant than her because she'll step up.
Still in like status update of the relationship storylines. So like I know Sheena's gonna get her storyline later in the season, but she has to really work to have a storyline every season.
Sheena's the best. This made me love her even more.
Yikes. So sorry, Sheena Shea.
Is it hashtag justice for Sheena with dodgy editing or more because the big ticket item is Katie and Schwartz? I think we kind of touched on this. It's a bad time, but also she's openly said they edit her really shitty, but she keeps coming back.
Okay, season 8, they did her dirty with the crying about Dana and Max.
Oh, that was so funny.
That is where justice for Sheena really lives. And like they really did her wrong. Yeah. Now it's like this is not real. Like Sheena doesn't need justice.
I found
at this present moment.
Her whole postpartum body feeling uncomfortable. I thought that was a really like interesting storyline because of how fast Lala bounced back, but like Sheena didn't feel the same.
Yes.
I thought that was really endearing. I think Sheena's really endearing. I just don't think she has found her footing. And maybe she knew that and said, Schwartz, come on my podcast.
I don't think she knows how to create her own storyline. Yeah. And that is where she falters as our reality TV star.
Listen, if Sheena, can we talk about how Katie in season 1 was so irrelevant? I didn't even know who she fucking was. So the fact that like Sheena was pretty big. She got divorced on the show. She'll never be a friend of because she has given us a lot. It's just like,
but it has to be like a life moment of hers that they can build a story around. Sheena doesn't really make a story.
Do we think the Brock thing's going to work? She could get divorced again. We got to keep her around just in case.
Maybe she can make her own company called Second Divorce Closet.
The other divorce closet. Got divorced again? Listen, I get it, Sarah. Oh, I'm glad we talked about Sheena a little bit. I kind of forgot she was in this episode. I love you so much. Okay, be sure to do all the things. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Stick with us, guys. We're here for the next 85 months. So
can't wait.
And we have Summer House. If you're watching Summer House, you could listen to us twice a week. Wild.
What a joy. Thanks, guys. Bye.